Hello YouTube, hope you're doing well. I know I'm sorry I haven't made a video in quite some time, and a lot has happened in that time. I don't really want to just put out videos for the sake of putting out videos. I was doing that somewhat in the past, and I don't think it really added value. And also, I think maybe it might have damaged my channel a little bit. So I've got some information that I just wanted to share today, which I think will be quite useful for you guys that are watching. So at the moment, as you can see on my screen, this is a Vechain chart versus Bitcoin, and this video is mainly going to be around talking around Vechain and where it's going to go in the future. So to start things off, I just wanted to mention that, of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research. I won't be held responsible if you lose money. Of course, if you do make money, then I like to know that where credit's due. Then please give me a shout out. So this is the VeChain chart, as I said a minute ago. I've got it on the 1 day chart at the moment, and I've been charting this for some time now. So as you can see, obviously VeChain has had a massive drop. This is on the Binance chart that we've got here. But the interesting thing is as you can see on the top here, when we were at around 220 satoshis, we formed this falling wedge pattern here, and all the way back from, say, what date is that? 2018, August 2018. Fortunately, the chart doesn't go back further than that. All the way until now, pretty much VeChain has not been able to conquer this line. It briefly broke above it. This was on the 19th November 2019, and I just wanted to just show you something that is quite interesting. So if I can somehow zoom out of here, I don't know if I can. I probably can't. No, I can't, unfortunately. But you can see we've got this massive drop off here. It forms like a cup almost shape. It tries to break out again at 140 satoshis, or above that, probably about 150, and then it forms the same pattern again. Now then, after that, you can see it has a breakout again to 100 satoshis, but then it forms the same two cut pattern. So I just wanted to reach out to you guys on YouTube. If any of you happen to know what that means, it's followed the exact same pattern as before, except this one is obviously a much smaller version. So what's going to happen next? The next thing is I wanted to mention is obviously the daily moving averages. You can see that the obviously the red line has broken above when it hit its peak, but ever since then it hasn't really ever gained momentum and moved up past that. The only time it has was when it went over 100 satoshis, but again it's dropped down below. So I kind of placed my bets fairly recently. So I probably placed my bets around 29th of April, around the end of April, before the drop. I was expecting for a small breakout there. Didn't happen, and it dropped down lower, and now it's kind of gone down to this lower trend line. So today we're currently at about 48 satoshis, and it seems to be supported by that current trend line there. There's another line obviously below that, which is around, if I can, about 43 or 42 satoshis, and then the very bottom trend line is around 34. So you can see that there's three levels that this trend would have to fall down to. Personally, I think it might drop down to about 43 satoshis, just because it hasn't been able to break out. But if you look at that long-term triangle pattern all the way back from 2018, there's not a lot of time left until that triangle closes, and it has to do something, and either it drops down to zero, which in my opinion I don't think is going to happen, because the fundamentals for VeChain are so strong and they've got so many partnerships that I don't see that they're ever going to be dropping down to zero. And you know, I see that this trend is going to eventually break out of this triangle pattern. It doesn't have a lot of time left, and you know, looking at this, you're looking at around about the 28th of July for the triangle pattern to end, and whatever it decides to do, whether it drops down from the first level, the second level to 34 satoshis, you know, being the bottom, or 42. I reckon 42 will probably be perhaps its bottom, because then it will set a higher low before this whole trend happened. Then I think the only way really for this to go is you know, to the upside. If you look at the risk factor, I think the risks at this point in time for, you know, getting into this Vechain is pretty low, only because the price is so low at the moment. You know, I think there is definitely some gains to be made here. So that was just a little bit of a TA. I'm not a TA guy, I'll be honest, but when I started to see this pattern, I found it was very interesting. If you also look here, you know, when we had the crossover of the moving averages, or the daily moving averages, you can see as soon as that they crossed, there was a huge spike up, and that's what I thought was about to happen here. Didn't quite happen. It touched it, got rejected. It touched it here as well, which was around about February, and again got rejected. So I'm just waiting for that crossover to happen, and when it does, I can see a massive spike moving towards the upside. And if this maintains above, you know, the 34 level, which will be a higher low, then I think, you know, we'll be looking for a much bigger breakout than the one that we had here, which was topped out just above 100 satoshis. Just to show you some more information that I've gathered. So essentially, if we just have a look at trading view, of course, Bitcoin dominance on the charts here, if it's going to load. Don't know what's happened to it. Come back. I don't know what's going on here. It's not showing for some reason, which is very frustrating. If I just go to the full chart, there we go. Okay, so if I just go to 5 year, you can see that Bitcoin is currently at 67% dominance. I think the highest was around 71% dominance. Before the whole breakout in 2018, of course, Bitcoin was around, you know, almost 100 or 90% dominance. Then it took a massive dip at around the 27th of February 2017. So if I compare that to when Bitcoin's last halving was, it was around July 9th, 2016. So that took around about 9 months for that massive breakout to happen. To be honest, I think this time around it's not going to take 9 months. I think it's probably going to take a bit longer, purely because of the cycles tend to get longer after each halving. So I could reckon it will probably be in about another year's time. You may be looking at around about May, June, July 2021, where we start to see the halving really start breaking down, and it may go down as far as, say, 33% or something in that region. Next thing I wanted to just probably have a look at again is just showing you again, if we have a look at the altcoin dominance chart, you can see altcoins are currently extremely low. Of course, they're much higher than what they were before the 2018 run, but now they've set a new low. So I think if we have a look at the chart on the far right, you can see that there was a higher low that we've got there, and it's slowly starting to move up, and I can see this starting to form you know, a big run up going forwards. It doesn't really form a correlation to what happened, you know, in 2016. You can see 2016 we had a little bit of a run up. We didn't really have that kind of run up this time around, so this time it looks very different from what was set back in 2016. And to be honest with you, I think the market this time around is going to be very different. A lot of people are saying that, they're going to have a look at the past and it's going to repeat and be the same. But I think this time around is very different. The reason why I say that is because there's a huge amount of on and off ramps. If you think about back in 2018, the only real place you could really buy, Bitcoin or any other crypto was on Coinbase. Binance had just come out, so you couldn't really buy it there, and there wasn't really many options for where you could buy cryptocurrency. Today, there are so many applications you can buy crypto from. It's unreal, and it's a lot easier to be able to get into the crypto market. And there's far more on ramps than it's crazy. So I think this time around it's going to be a bit of a different beast. How it's going to look, I have no idea. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. So either way, please let me know if you've got any comments, or if you can like and subscribe. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks for listening. Bye.